Ayo, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, Hashem Yahshua, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Is it not zooming in?
Can't just make a certain focus so it doesn't lose focus on.
Is it focusing?
Yeah.
Okay. It's brothers on the Jumas London camp, which can be going into basically the Israelite foreigners. And basically, like how Israel was scattered, you're gonna find them all over the show, and you know, not every Jake's gonna be looking like Shaft, because you know this is something which has basically it's been a point of contention for a while, but you know this you go through the scriptures, it's plain, you know, Israel's gonna come from all corners of the earth, and they're gonna come looking like all kinds of variations, man, because even among Jake you get variation, so it's like, you know, man talking like. Every Jake comes out wide nose, dark as all hell, 7'10", you know. But obviously, you know, taller, shorter, darker, lighter, all that, man. So you know, if you want
I have a precept. This is Romans chapter 8 and 16, and it says, "The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God." You know, and the thing is, man, us as the 12 tribes of Israel, we all individually have spirits. Now, this flesh that we are in is simply a house for your spirit. So, it is possible to have people who are part of the 12 tribes of Israel who have just, you know, different characteristics, and especially because according to the scriptures, the actual 12 tribes of Israel have been scattered amongst all people upon the face of the earth. So if you're in this truth and you're just preaching that the 12 tribes is going to be black, yeah, then well, you're just lost. You're completely lost, man. Because it's 2018, where we're actually approaching the actual time of salvation, and stuff as this is simple, you know.
Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And it says he will set his hand and recover the remnant of his people. So amongst those nations, there's going to be a remnant of Jake there, man. So that's straight out of scriptures. So where is, you know, it says it's going to come from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar. So then you're saying all of those is going to be some black, tall-skinned Jakes.
Black. And at the same time, this guy can super dunk. He can super dunk too. That's how the guy can backflip into the hoop.
He's gonna dunk onto the chariots, man.
Yeah, because he's size 13 and he got an afro.
Yeah.
So he's a Jake.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man.
What if he's got a midget, a younger brother? Was he a Jake and the other child?
No, but he's supposed to be size 13 though. That's how niggas think. Because the thing is, why did if you don't mind, you can read that scripture again, Public Shot. Public Shot.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Okay, now, why did that take place? Why did the scriptures say the people of the Lord will be in separate lands? It goes back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Because if you read chapters like Deuteronomy 28 or chapter 30 or chapter 4, it clearly outlines what was going to happen to the 12 tribes of Israel being scattered and then returning to the Lord from all these lands where we're scattered. So that precepts to the Gentiles that Paul taught. Look, Paul himself says, I wish I was a curse from the Lord for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, coming back to the Lord from all these lands and so on and so forth. But us being scattered, it has a backstory. Jacob didn't just pop up in Greece. You know when someone spawns in a game, he just spawned up in Greece or in Kush.
He pops out of the Greek, crawled out of the earth. Man.
Yeah. You know, it has a backstory.
I've got a precept for you. Ezekiel 36 and 18. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it.
Bro, shy, yeah. Kiki, hold on to that. Oh, man. Oh, bro. Can you read this? Because basically, that there, once you read that, us lot can just stop this right there. That's a solid one.
You want it from 15 or should I look up?
15 and then 64.
Deuteronomy 28.
Speak on it, you know.
Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Yeah, this is the key point which Jake likes to forget in the modern day, man. Because you know you get these black Negro-centrics and these Afrocentrics and all these kinds of modern movements which are meant to be explaining why Jake's in the predicament they're in. But none of them can explain why we went to slavery, man. So these white people, they're inferior, blah blah. Okay, so then why is it that we ended up getting their backs lashed out for 350 years? What's going on? So that's why it's like you go into the scriptures, it breaks it down, man. It makes it plain. Yep. And this is why, like, just bruv, we all got messed up, man, because we were going the fuck off, and we were scattered as well. Yes. Which the brother will get to that. Go on.
In verse 64, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other.
That's it. So you're gonna be scattered everywhere. So that means you're gonna have motherfuckers in the Himalayan mountains, motherfuckers out in the islands, the Polynesian islands. You're gonna have them in Americas, in South Americas, in China, in India's. In Europe's, all over the show. Yep. But does that mean that every single one of them is gonna look like a straight up Negro?
And you got these simple fucks who think it says scatter, so you just gonna find a Jake in Australia, but he's black, or you gonna find him in China, he's black with an afro in China, so he's definitely a Jake.
Yeah. The thing is well, you could find those. Yeah. But the thing is like, bruv, how did the scattering even occur? Yes. Because that's recorded in the scriptures. Yep. Man can get into that. But what I was gonna say is you're gonna the guys that are out there. It's like if the niggas, you know how Jake is, even in the West, you can see once they get their ass on some some white pussy. Yeah. They get all up in there. Yeah. And then like 2 generations later, they're looking like Ryan Giggs, man. Yeah. So what's Yeah. God.
I was just gonna make the point, like this point, when Israel went to war, the Israelites rather went to war in these different places, they wouldn't have gone to war with their women, right? And they would have stayed in those areas. So when, for instance, the Moors went and conquered Spain, they didn't conquer them with their women, right? So they would have gone over there to Spain, and what would they have had? They would have had some Beckys over there. Spoiled.
What was that account in the scriptures when David went into the land of Eden and slew almost all of the men, and then popped their chicks, man. Yeah. The scripture says they took their chicks for spoil, man. So even back then, you had Jake mixing.
It's in the law, man. Deuteronomy 20 and like 6, I think, something like that. It records. It's actually commanded of you in the law to lay hold on some spoils.
That's right.
This is Daniel's chapter 9, verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off.
That's the key point.
through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
Yep.
And going back to, we bring out the curses, the scattering in Deuteronomy. So, hey, part of that is being driven out to all these different lands, and then, you know, you've got a remnant of our people there, and they might be there for generations. And obviously, after a while, you get a Jake going into the land of Israel. He might go in there with his family looking like Shaft, okay, but he's gonna end up looking like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he's not of the seed? That the seed continues, man.
Exactly.
You know.
Because it's always a seed. The seed of Israel. The seed was scattered upon the field, upon the whole earth. It was scattered everywhere. You know, and it was planted in different soils. And, you know, different characteristics. Plant an apple tree here and plant it in Congo. It's an apple tree, but it's gonna have different characteristics, man.
Gonna ripen. Yeah, fruits ripen different in different conditions as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a quick precept for you as well. Going off the back of that, Acts 2 and 5, talking about the days of Pentecost, and after Yahweh Shai was on the scene, time of the Romans, it says, and they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And so you had it to where, like, during the time of the Pentecost, the apostles, the Pentecost, the Jews came together to celebrate, man, as the law said, and you had it to where they weren't looking like the typical so-called big afro with the woolly beard Jew. They had different characteristics. When the scripture tells you explicitly, that's why the apostles had to have the speaking of tongues, because they had to speak to men that had been living in these nations. They didn't even know how to speak the Hebrew. But it even told you that in the ancient, in the Old Testament, man, that you know the prophets always used to scold Israel because they weren't even teaching the children the language. So of course they didn't look like.
And even in that account there, those were actually actual Jews who
among them nations, isn't it?
who actually knew the actual heritage. Yeah. How much so other cats who just he was Greeked out. He was eating a toga. He was being a faggot. He wasn't circumcised. He shaved his head bald, and he's praying to a temple god, bro.
Yeah, praying to some Zeus.
Some Zeus, and then some Zeus, and after Paul and that come to them and teach them, look, even though you're going off, bro, you're an Israelite. That's basically the whole story of the Gentiles.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like the wonder is that what these Christians, these guys that don't get into the actual history and the scriptures, is that this wasn't something that just popped up just when the Greeks came around. It's something that was done en masse by Negroes with the Greeks, but it was also done in previous kingdoms, man. That's why it's come on, man.
I've got precept.
I got is it I got Deuteronomy 1. Let me just get this because it's just about Deuteronomy 20 and 10, and it says, when thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it, and it shall be if it make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And then the Lord thy power hath delivered it into thine hands. Thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is of the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. And thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. So the spoil, women were part of the spoil. So, you know, devouring up them women, that was part of war as an Israelite.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, that means, hey man, that basically means that whenever Israel's going to war, they're sowing that Jake seed all up in that nation, man.
Yeah.
After they man up.
Can. And even if you observe when we actually came into the actual land of Israel, we fought against the Canaanites, the Ammonites, all these heathen, the Edomites back then. So you got Jake, he was scattered back then, bro. Thousands of years ago, bro. Even prior to Greece, Rome, or in Babylon, Persia, You had Jake scattered when we was first coming into Israel, bro. Thousands of years back, 200, times past, bro. Then, so that, see it out there. Now he thinks he's a Hamite, bro. And you have our people in Papua New Guinea, bro, which I'm not saying they're part of the tribes. I'm saying you have our people scattered among them. You all wearing leaves and got a bone going through the nose. Bug the fuck out, bro.
Yeah, they're doing that in South America.
In South America too.
That man are eating women that come. The bitch went to explore, to discover them, like they discovered America. And then she got eaten, man.
See?
There was a
Bugged
bitch-
out like that.
There was a bitch that was canoeing down there, and it was just like, they told her, look, man, you don't want to go to them guys, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Then she went missing. Turns out her ass got eaten, man. What's
See?
going on?
Bugged out. Doing
Bugged
that.
the fuck out, man.
Doing that. But then Jake,
Yeah.
tell me that ain't the power of the Most High. And then during the time of Paul, you have that happening. Jake being like, the damn Spartans. The Spartans were warriors, but were faggots too.
Yeah.
Popping
Yeah,
popping on
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Pop going off, bro.
Popping the
Yeah.
youths and that as well, man.
I'll even our people back there went into bestiality, I wanted to be to doing all of that. And then Paul just comes up, this guy is an Israelite, and you can come back. And then the other Jews in Israel who've been keeping the actual law for hundreds of years, we're like, well, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Are you telling me this guy is bugged out? He can just call on the name of the Lord and he's cool, but it's true.
Yeah, this guy's wearing a toga.
He's wearing, nigga, look, my fringes is hot,
Yeah.
Look at my fringes, man. And this guy wearing a toga. Boy,
That's just that pride of. But I've been doing it all my life.
That's
I've been doing it right.
niggas.
What?
Yeah.
What is it? The parable of the workman. The guy comes in later on,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "But why is he getting the same paycheck as I am?"
Yeah.
But hey, you agree the price.
Mm-hmm.
If there is, or just because they weren't doing it from their beginning doesn't mean they ain't Israel. So,
That's
that real quick.
And that's the same pride that the guy came up to Yahweh Shai, and he said, "Good master,
Yeah.
Good master, all of these things that I kept,
done.
all these things have I done." That's that pride, the same pride that they were coming with. And then what did Yahweh Shai say to him? He was like, "Why callest thou me good?" And he was like, "Look, none is good but the heavenly Father." And so he cut him. He said, basically, what? He goes, "What can I do to enter into the kingdom?" And he goes, "Sell all that you have."
Yep.
And that shows that Yahweh Shai was on a deeper spiritual level to basically just be like, "Look, I know exactly what's holding this guy back, his possessions," and he ended up getting cut. All right, that's just a point to what the one was speaking about, the whole pride.
Yep.
All right, because you had a lot of the wicked old scribes and Pharisees that were in high positions over in Rome as well. They didn't want to give up their place.
And with
And they were looking down on the Gentiles in Thomas.
And then with them, they were all speaking about their works. They came to Yahweh Shai and said, why do your apostles eat with unclean hands? Like, why are they out there picking corn on the Sabbath? Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, they were hypocrites, man, because they were sinning, man. They were doing all kind of wickedness. I want just one quick precept just of what brothers are saying. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is a gift of the Most High. It says, not of works, lest any man should boast. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, we're in this condition because we couldn't keep the law. So it's a hypocritical statement to then say you're going to save yourself through the law when you're in a fucked up condition in the first place because you couldn't keep it, man. That's why, ultimately, the Gentiles is a stumbling block for a lot of Jakes, man. But ultimately, Yahweh Shai had it set up where he said, Judah shall not envy Ephraim, and Ephraim shall not vex Judah, if I'm not misquoted. But at the end of the day, like, we're all going to be united as there's still going to be the hierarchy. Judah's still going to be the head tribe, but there's going to be like honor amongst all Israel ultimately, man.
Yeah. It's the hating's gonna stop, man.
After you.
Cool. Ezekiel 11:15. Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get ye far from the Lord, unto us is this land given in possession. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Power, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries, where they shall come.
Mhm.
Therefore, say, thus saith the Most High Power, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you've been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel.
Boom.
So,
Boom.
plain in the scriptures.
And that's what's happening now.
Yeah, Israel's been scattered. And the thing is like the scat, bruv, it's like, the Lord, it's like the brother was saying earlier, it's like back in the day, back in 2,000 years ago, you had them men in Jerusalem that were able to say, okay, we've been keeping the law since I grew up, X, Y, Z, you know, I've been doing the righteousness. Now it's come to the point where everyone's fucked. No one really I don't know, maybe, okay, there'll be generations now that they might have grown up knowing, hearing no Israelite. But by and large, the majority of people coming in, they were just in the world, being a piece of shit, and then they woke up to the truth. So that's why no one's got okay, well, I've been keeping it. That's why if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to be saved by the law, you've already failed, because, you know, that's why it's like, hey, man, it's the same. We're all Gentiles now. We're always Israelite foreigners. None of us have got, you know, none of us have got the documentation or anything. You know, you can be the blackest, whitest, most free 1080 spin dunking nigga, but that doesn't really mean shit.
So it comes down to faith.
Comes down to faith, and a prime example is this. During the time of Paul, right? Paul went to who? The Israelites who what? Fell away, right? From the truth, right? Paul said there shall be a falling away first. That happened to all Israel. We all fell away, and now as Gentiles from Jamaica, from Congo, from here, from Australia, from this, from that, we're coming back to the faith. So we all became Gentiles. Really, that whole story, or like of them coming back to the faith, applies and speaks on what? The power and mercy of the Lord unto Israel. That us being, even though we're wicked, we can return to the Lord through faith. You know?
Got some.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 25 and 32, right? Because you get these guys saying, oh, but what if you get a guy, you think he's a Jew, but you can't tell what. That's why the scriptures say basically what it says here, right? It's Matthew 25 and 32 says, and before him, I'll start from 31, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a sheep divideth his sheep from the goats, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left, right? Because ultimately, man, there are some guys who just be like, look, man, I don't know about that guy, right? We just gonna find out when the Lord comes, man. We ain't ultimately like we say, you got the Israelite foreigners and that, but yeah, you'll get some guys that you think they're heathen, but they're actually a Jake. Going back to what the Bible was saying about the just how far along Israel has been scattered, man. Like you said, you get them Israelite foreigners. I'll be eating their meat, bloody, right?
Snakes,
eating snakes,
crocodile,
all of that.
the glass cutter,
Grass cutter.
Grass cutter.
Giant mutant rat, man. Shit.
It's nice.
Quick one.
Criminals.
Oh man.
Is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, 12 verse. I can start from the top. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren.
That's the key word. That's the key word.
Oh, you didn't get Romans?
Hey, keep going, man.
Okay,
I got Romans, man.
It says,
Woo!
I would not have you ignorant. Verse 2, ye know that ye were Gentiles.
Why did he say that? Why? How, Swing? Why, Swing? Why did he say you were? Are you telling me it's possible for a heathen? Oh yeah, hey man, I'm an Israelite now. Oh yeah, like a plain gook. He's all bugged out.
Did a citizen application?
Yeah, he was citizen.
I've changed my seed.
I'm still Israel, and he probably can't even pronounce Israel, but he's like,
Can't even see straight.
Jump down. He all bugged out. No, man.
It says, you know that you were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led.
Boom.
Hey, we were Christians before this truth, man.
Christians.
Muslims.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Hey,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
of us went as far as being atheists, man.
Yeah. I have a precept upon you, the one you just read. Romans chapter 9. I say in the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen,
brethren,
according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
Mm.
Jump back.
Hey, 1 Corinthians 12:1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren,
Brethren,
who are
Israelites,
according
to
to
who,
the
to whom pertaineth the adoption, according to the as kinsmen, according to the flesh,
that's right.
who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption.
Right,
And-
so the thing is that one verse, that's a hella deep verse,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Pertaining to the adoption. What adoption? You go back to Hosea, the first chapter. The Lord said, look, man, I ain't dealing with you guys anymore.
Not my
man.
people.
You ain't my people.
Yep.
You see,
I have a precept for you.
okay, yeah.
And who were adopted.
Mm.
Because being adopted, there was a category that you had to fulfill in order to be adopted. You know, it says, this is Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of the time was come, Yahweh sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive adoptions of sons. Who are under the law?
Yeah, well, what was it? Psalms 147. You have not dealt so with
Any other nation.
Mhm.
And the thing is, you know, these guys talk about the Gentiles, you know, the gospel of the Gentiles. First of all, Paul gave a specific criteria of who he was teaching and who was a Gentile, which I have a precept quickly. Galatians 2:7. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter. For he wrote effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. So the uncircumcision are known as the Gentiles that Paul taught. Paul said his apostleship was unto the uncircumcision. In the time of Maccabees, who was uncircumcised? Who was uncircumcised? The Israelites who discontinued from their heritage.
No, it was the Elamites.
Yeah, in it.
The Elamites were uncircumcised.
What's that?
Yeah.
You know, some BS.
I think this brother had a precept. You had one?
I was just gonna get Hosea when the brother quoted, innit? But
So
you got it. Up. You got it.
Okay, yeah.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision,
Oh, that's a spirit.
by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time you were without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. And that's that's really, well, before you come in this truth and you realize, you find out that who the Lord is, his name, Yahweh Shem Shai, his son. Before you find out all these things, before you find out you're an Israelite, you're a stranger. You're basically out there. You're an alien to the commonwealth of Israel, man. You don't know that you're Israel. You don't know what pertains onto Israel. Do you know what I mean? You're out there in a messed up state, in a heathenistic state of mind. But when you come into this truth and you find out, what happens? You start putting on that flesh, start putting on that skin, and you start to realize who your identity is, man.
And it keeps saying in times past. Why?
Yeah.
If someone's born an Edomite, he can't just, I'm a Jake now. Why does it say in times past?
You talking about? Guys can be born women and then just say, no, actually, I'm a man.
Yeah, see that?
2018 now. Become anything you want.
Hey, Kanye, she's probably a nigga woman anyway. Had Rachel Dolezal.
Oh, yeah.
The head of the end.
I think it's Jake, man.
Yeah,
She is
Jake,
I
man.
mean,
She pulled it off, and no one.
She had the braids and shit.
Yeah.
And playing this how we do.
She was ahead of the game, man. And then afterwards, Esau was like, actually, that's a great idea. Let's just say, oh, you can decide.
And then her parents came out on TV, cussed her. No, she's a white woman.
Yeah, the whitest parents in
Yeah,
America,
that's some
man.
fucking, you know.
Funny as
Yeah.
well. Oh, go on.
Still with Ephesians.
Yeah.
But we can you read verse 12 again?
Can.
I'm going to make a quick point on verse 12.
Can. This is verse 12. That at that time you were without Mashiach, being aliens from the
Without.
commonwealth of Israel.
Right, and alien means a stranger, right? Now I went into this word commonwealth, and it says in the Greek it's called polita, and it says citizenship, rights of a citizen. It says citizenship, concretely a community. So they were strangers of being a part of the community of Israel. Why? They weren't being identified as Israelites. Why? Because they were literally they were doing as the Greeks were doing.
Yeah.
They were literally like they adopted heathen customs.
The uncircumcision.
They physically uncircumcised
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. You got Jake. I think it's called epiasm. You got Jake who sewed. He took skin. They did a skin graft and sewed foreskin because during the time of Greeks, it was seen as unclean to be circumcised.
Yeah,
And like,
hella off.
And it
Well,
was
now
off.
it's seen as unclean. Now they're
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to say it's unclean.
yeah, there's child abuse.
Child
Child abuse.
And they all go tight, and that's why you have to give Esau
Genital
a hand.
mutilation.
Yeah, you gotta give Esau a hand because he flipped that from the feminist movement.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
feminist movement was
They
like,
st-
that's FGM.
Yeah, they started with the female gender.
Yeah.
I was like, you used to
Yeah,
see that
man.
every week in
In 2008,
in the
man.
London
Yeah.
Evening Standard.
Yeah, you used
Then
to see
all of
that
a
a lot.
sudden, they say,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
circumcision.
Yeah, the
It's
MGTOW.
genital
Yeah, the
mutilation.
MGTOW was like, well, that's another law that protects women. And Esau's the perfect devil, man.
Yeah.
And you know how our people are such ultra coons. Like even going back into the time of the Maccabees, they said that they
I
made
got it.
themselves. Oh,
I'm
you know,
here.
So, you know,
Blood. First Maccabees
it's spirit.
1 and 11. In those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. They did after. If someone's being a heathen, then if I see him, oh, he's a heathen, he's a goop. Because he's doing the same thing as a goop, so he's a goop.
That's that strangers of the Commonwealth, right
If
there.
you see the motherfuckers on goddamn live leaks, just
God.
like melt, they're just like putting them wrapped in boiling hot water and peeling the skin off. There's some heat there. There could be a Jake amongst them, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be looking at some
Nah,
fucking
this guy,
heathens,
this
man.
fuck is a heathen. Man, that's what you gonna be.
Yeah, you're gonna be thinking, that's
No, he's
that's
an Israelite.
and that's exactly how it was. But all these Jakes, bro, you see them. If you see that fucking what do you call it, a female championship boxer that got butt-ass naked for like the body issue for in America. She was butt-ass naked boxing. You just gonna think that's a heathen, man.
Yeah.
You
That's
see,
what
it's
happened
like
in Greece.
you see a nigga walking around with rod out saying, this is like makes me closer to my son.
Yeah.
His son's touching his rod.
And my son
He's
playing with his rod.
Not the magic.
After
flute,
he
yeah.
pops his woman.
Wow, man.
with
Yeah, bed discharge left on there, bro.
with cum still on his rod.
Man, god damn.
That's grim.
All kinds of fluids on there.
His son's blowing his.
He's like, bro, what that you failed, man.
He said basically,
failed
if my
as a
son was to
human
play with it, he can. I am, and I let him. That's what he said. He said his son could play with his rod.
That's
After he
that's
busts his
just
woman.
a straight up, bro. Even as
Oh, God.
bro, in ancient Israel, if you see a nigga doing that, dark skin or whatever, the thing is, you're gonna be used to seeing dark skinned heathens anyway.
Yeah.
Because there'll be dark skinned Egyptian fucks.
Good.
So you'll just be like, look, man, that's a fucking heathen, man.
Yeah.
He ain't. He's a stain. He stains the name of
Yes.
Israel. Come on, man. How you gonna be saying, well, this is Dre?
Oh,
No, man, that's a fucking heathen, man.
I'm a
You-
bit
you
more
say
saying
about-
about
yeah,
I'm
well
a bit
done.
more
Everyone's got more than everything.
We were saying about the naked athletes and that. Well, it just shows you that there's nothing new under the sun. Because
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
have over here today, over in America, where they got that new
That
gym now,
naked gyms.
like naked gym.
Oh, It's right here,
the
man.
uterus popping out as she's
Yo,
doing
we're all
squats.
hanging
and
out,
that.
just swaying.
Them clit all swinging. Yo.
Lips
Yeah,
are slapping and
all squirting over the
Oh,
goddamn,
shit.
You know?
the gym
Shit,
mats and
And
shit.
then some simple jig with a skipper rope at the bottom.
yeah, some simple, shiny-headed Jake, man.
Oh yeah, both.
Simple, bro.
Oh, man.
Like, no, I can't. I cardio. They gonna go, but he just runs off.
Yeah, just
What price plan do you have? I got this price plan.
And then that's what I'm saying. So then you have people in the truth. You know, it's us, like, bro. Those are heathen, man. He ain't coming in the truth.
Bro, for guys,
You know,
for guys skipping rope butt ass naked in the gym,
blood swinging.
he needs to get put he needs to get put out of his misery,
That's
man.
it, man.
Because bro, you are a heathen.
I have a bit more here. In Maccabees.
Yeah, go.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were so to do mischief.
Hey, that place of exercise, and what do they call it today? It's the gym. That's where you go to train, right? That's where you go to work out. That's that place. That's a modern place of exercise. When you go into that word gym, I believe it's gymnos, which basically means naked. And that's the same thing that you got going on today. You got niggas signing up, enrolling to this fucking naked gym in the States.
Yeah, he's
What did they say? I think one of the brothers in the States said that Rihanna's now a member or something like that.
See what I'm saying?
You got fucking celebrities and shit. They're all pushing that agenda.
Boom.
Man. And you got these coons that are signing up. Yeah, I got my platinum price plan. You know, shiny ass head and
$29.99.
you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
Forehead in your, you know what I'm saying?
What about $399.99?
You know, $399.
With these gyms as well, because people used to go to the gym, you used to have a shirt, maybe like some shorts on or something, yeah. Then it started to become like tight leggings and fucking like Nike tight body clad sportswear.
Yeah.
Because you know it's like the last couple of years. So the next step, the next,
but
because Esau's you
get
have to lay those traps.
That's a good point, Art, because what I've been noticing more and more of them tight gym bottom leggings is they'll have like a section of them which is see-through.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
I've got a preset. This is Sirach 29 and 21. The chief thing for life is water, bread, and clothing. And a house to cover shame.
That's it. I have a precept. If anyone else hasn't got one,
That's some more.
I've got something as well. I've been holding forever.
So this back in verse 12. And strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without power in the world.
Why didn't they have any hope? Proverbs 21 and 16. They want a congregation of dead.
That's it.
Those through, man.
Oh, like it says at the beginning of the verse, says that at a time you were without Mashiach. Because you got all these Christians, for example, right? You got these Jakes, you got these Christians, and they're bowing down to Cesare Borgia, and they got no hope, man. Because after the sermon, okay, they're reading these words, great, they're reading these words, but after the sermon, they're going and having some pork sandwiches.
Because they're
heathen.
dead.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They're being heathenistic, man.
Because the actual Lord himself is what? Is life, right? So if someone don't have the Lord, he's dead.
That's right.
You know? In the world.
Go on, man.
You done, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, this one. Ezekiel 20. Yeah, Ezekiel 20 and 21. Notwithstanding, the children rebelled against me. They walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them. Which if a man do, he shall even live in them. They polluted my Sabbaths. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness. Nevertheless, I withdrew mine hand and wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose sight I had brought them forth. I lifted up mine hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the heathen and disperse them through the countries. So this is, throughout the Bible, like from cover to cover, the scattering is just it's undeniable.
Yep.
Says and disperse them through the countries, because they had not executed my judgments, but despised my statutes. and polluted my Sabbaths,
Mm.
and their eyes were after their father's idols.
Mm.
So, you know, this is, it's plain. Because the thing is you read through the scriptures, then the punishment, the brother read it before, in Deuteronomy 28:64, what is it? If you don't, in 15 it says, if you don't follow the laws, these punishments will happen. And 64 is, you're going to get scattered. So then you've got throughout the scriptures recorded that Jake was going the fuck off.
Yep.
And what happened? They'll get nabbed up in bondage by them nations.
Mhm.
So this is yet again reinforcing that.
Yep.
Repeatedly as well.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Because it was prophesied and it had to be played out. It wasn't just prophesied and whoop, he's in the heathen land somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
No, the
Yeah, man are talking like, yeah,
Yeah.
man got beamed up, beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me
And
up,
they got
Scotty.
beamed into like fucking, and then now them Elam lands,
Yeah.
you know.
no, the Babylonians had to come fuck them up. Well, the Syrians, then the Babylonians, the Persians, Medes had to come fuck them up.
And what happens in every captivity? I've got precepts as
Oh.
well when we're done. But what happens in every captivity? You've got examples of it now.
Yeah.
Like you've got these Edomite women now in Esau's captivity dealing with Jake and having children with those guys.
Hey, man.
And so like to
Not
make the
going
point,
there.
right? And what do you have of that? You have a whole load of Jake that are happy in this captivity.
Bro, that's what happened in Babylon.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Because they're happy with that captivity. It's like,
Yeah.
I could go back to Israel.
That's
but
what
I
happened.
want to stay here, just like niggas are saying today.
Yeah,
They
I
got their
understand.
Becky. We could have the kingdom, but
Yeah.
I want to stay here with my Becky.
Well, even with the so-called kingdom for these niggas is meant to be Africa.
Oh gosh.
And, you know, they've got all kinds of options to go. A nigga will move to Ghana tomorrow if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. The apostles always bring out that. I'm like, bro, these niggas, they love America, man.
They've been living
They
good
love
there.
the
Well,
West.
they've been good. If we went
Yeah.
into parts in Africa, they'd be living like
Yeah,
like
your
kings there.
money, it's like times
Stretch,
5 over
man.
there and shit. So it's like, you can go from being average to being a king.
Being a
so
god.
It's, yeah, a god on
You're
this.
always going to have a bunch of fucking thick-head Israelites that want to go back to captivity or stay in it.
Whoa, in the wilderness.
Well, that's what I was just about to
You
say.
had niggas, he said, you gonna be the captain, man. Let's go back. And fuck Moses. That's what they did.
Yeah, for the Garlic to leave.
Hey,
No, in Egypt.
I still got more on mine, man. I've been holding this for like the last 3 weeks. It says, I skip down to verse 32, and it says, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, we will be to as the heathen, as the families of the countries to serve wood and stone. As I live, saith the Most High Power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered. With a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. So that means that, bruv, that's, you know, it's undeniable. If you're going to say Israelite foreigners don't exist, then who is it that's fulfilling these prophecies? Because it says, like, from one corner of the earth onto the other in Isaiah 11, in Deuteronomy 28:64. So what's up? Where these guys at? You're seeing these guys, man, because it's like, you know, for example, even what's this nigga's name, man? The golf nigga, man, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger motherfucking Woods. No one's trying to say, he's a gook. No,
Asiatic black man.
Yeah, Asiatic black man. Come on, man. That's,
Nigga,
no one's even saying
that.
that. That's some 80s shit, man.
Well, I remember
Asiatic black
if I
man.
can say they had that Dave Chappelle skit
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they're doing the racial draft.
Yeah, racial
And
draft.
then you know, the so-called blacks get Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And everyone, the Moabites are upset about that. They all they never
Yeah,
had him in the first
yeah,
place.
exactly. Because
I'm an
it's
Asiatic black.
you know bro, it's man out here, and it's like you can see there will be Israelites among them, man. Like you know, the fucking Jabberwockies back in 2006 were popping up. Them niggas could obviously some jakes amongst all nations, man. Like even man was watching Punisher earlier. What's his name? Ron Bertel, I think his name is. That guy's meant to be a so-called Jew, but you can see he's a jake, man. That guy's got too much flavour, and it's like, you know, DiCaprio's, them Irish boys and Italian boys. They're trying to front like it's not recorded history that Jake was in these areas.
But it's not only that, to say those guys are the other. No, I said the point before when it was off camera. But to say these guys aren't Israelites is to say that Edomite can act like DiCaprio. So like an Edomite can dance like Timberlake.
Yeah. Or even what's his name, man? Fucking from Saturday Night Fever. Fucking
Oh, John Travolta.
yeah, John Travolta, man.
Oh,
That
yeah,
guy,
Jake,
that
yeah,
guy's a
Jake.
fucking nigger and a half, man.
Hey, when Rigondeaux and Lomachenko fought, right? Yeah, and then the Apostle Tar actually did a sit down in it. You had a simple Jake, yeah? He actually said on the comment board, just because you fight like a Jake, that don't mean you're Jake. That's what a nigga said. And I'm like, you fuck.
Bro,
You're like,
what kind of read?
Just because it,
That's a chimpanzee.
just because
Okay.
That's a
you
monkey.
tear flesh like a lion, don't mean you're lying.
Yeah.
That's a dumb comment.
I'm really cracked like a duck, but
Yeah.
you know.
How do you know
How you know you know?
Oh,
How you know?
That's
That's
the Dave Chappelle skit where it's like, look, just because I'm dressed
That's
this
like,
way
yeah.
does not mean I'm a hoe. No, you're a hoe.
No, you're a hoe.
She's just wearing a whole uniform.
That's what it is.
Come on, man. No, of course. It's that. If it's bruv. If a motherfuckers dance, bruv, you can go to a million out of a million gooks and say, okay, dance, and they're gonna look like ducks. Trying
So what? So basically
Come on,
saying.
man.
So okay, so you got Jakes, you got these Israelite foreigners that can box, you got these Israelite foreigners that can dance, you got these Israelite foreigners that can sing. So if you got heathens that can do all of those things, what makes Israel special?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Look, man.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, that guy's just a little white rat, man.
Yeah.
A little white rodent, man.
Yeah.
That's apparently,
Man.
you know, that's why women just
Yeah.
they're dying for him, just like they were dying for what's his name, man, for MJ, where it's like literally like passing
Yeah,
out.
Justin Bieber's got some tunes, man.
Hey,
I
yes,
say like, there's some tunes, bro.
he's
No,
Well,
mama
you
don't
know, and
like
I need
you.
yeah.
But and the thing is, bro, yeah,
Hmm.
it's like I actually know a guy who actually went to my school, man. He was a Jew, you know. It was my history class, man. And what's it called, man? Everyone used to curse him out, right? So now, you know,